And we were saying, right, when everything went off. But anyway, this girl was offered the opportunity to probably make it in another area, right? Because the testings for the medical school had already started for that semester that she was applying for. Eventually, she said she was there making the effort with all these hardships in order to become a surgeon, not to go and for that purpose probably she could have been better in where she thought it was convenient, probably comfortable, better, in a better conditions, right? And like living conditions, probably with a little bit more money, right? To do the things, but whenever she was living, and where she was living, there was no medical school, and she was explaining everything to these two full-time instructors in that faculty, right? And eventually he brought the key, right? Este señores le ofrecieron a la muchachita, todavía era una adolescente, ¿verdad? La oportunidad de ingresar probablemente a la escuela de odontología, o probablemente arquitectura, la escuela de enfermería, probablemente a la escuela de ingeniería. Pero ella les dijo que ella había ido por toda esa travesía de problemas para ser cirujana, ¿verdad? Que ella no tenía interés de ir a ninguna parte, ¿verdad? Que ella nada más fue a que le revisaran su tarjeta de respuestas porque ella estaba segura que ella había tenido éxito en su examen, ¿verdad? Entonces fue el doctor y trajo a su compañero, era un doctor que era responsable de tiempo completo de los primeros 2 años, y el otro era el otro doctor de los 2 últimos años, y los dos se le quedaron mirando a la muchachita. Both of them looked straight forward to the girl, and they warned her, right, that this will be, right, a good opportunity to find out if she really was sure, right, and that if and the fact to have several questions done right, that she will be part of that generation of students, right? But other than that, they had nothing else to do or to help the student to continue with their efforts to make it through. And that the semester has already started, and that the school had already applied the first testings to those new students, and that she had already lost the first opportunity to present testings, and that she had to pay attention and work, and that in the fact to have her as part of that generation, that she had to work really hard in order to pass the next testings, because everything will be very detrimental for her. Que ella tenía que tener cuidado, porque si salía ella con sus respuestas buenas, que ya les habían puesto los primeros exámenes a los muchachos que habían entrado con esa generación, y que no iba a ser muy fácil pasar esas clases, porque ya estaban hechos los primeros exámenes, y que ya tenían que trabajar mucho para sacarse muchos cienes, ¿verdad? Muchas buenas calificaciones para poder aprobar. Y la muchacha le dijo que estaba bien, que ella estaba dispuesta a trabajar mucho para hacer posible que todas las cosas se cumplan, ¿verdad? Entonces este señor, ¿verdad?, fue por la tarjeta de la clave de todas las respuestas y le dijo: vamos a poner esta tarjeta encima de la tuya, ¿verdad? And he said, we're going to put our key just right on top of all your answers, right? And we're gonna cross a vertical red line y vamos nosotros a cruzar una línea vertical, ¿verdad? Roja. And we're gonna count all the markings, right? And then we're gonna find out what's going on from there, right? Y él hizo así, ¿verdad? Y se llegó el momento en que se puso a cruzar todas las líneas con rojo, ¿verdad? Y se puso a contarlas, and he counted all the red lines. And surprise, y sorpresa, that it was not just one answer, that it was right. No solamente una respuesta estaba buena. Fue una buena docena, right? And it was like around 12 questions that were answered right. And the doctor was just laughing, right? And the girl was really nervous about it because she knew that everything that she said it was right. Y ella estaba nerviosa y seria, ¿verdad? Porque ella sabía que era su derecho, ¿verdad? Sabía que había hecho bien su trabajo, ¿verdad? Que había hecho bien su tarea, que ella ya había pasado por el estudio ese. Y el doctor fue y trajo otra vez al otro de los tiempos completos. And both of them went looking at her and said, how in the heaven, ¿verdad? Y le dijeron, ¿verdad? Que como Diosito Santo esto había pasado. And they went to bring one folder. Y se fueron a traer un folder amarillo, a yellow folder, manila folder. Y pusieron una nota. And they put a note in it which said that this students, right, this day has been found approved, right, during the review of her admission testings, and just help her as much as you can, right, because she has done her work. Y así fue como se puso, ¿verdad? Este folder, ¿verdad? Y así dijeron, bueno, pues vaya, ¿verdad? You're going to be assisting to all these classes, like to start, like if you just were just bystander, right? Nada más como oyente, stand by, right? Vas a estar como un oyente. Eventually you will all going to have your team to work with. Y eventualmente tú vas a tener tu equipo con quien trabajar. And eventually you're gonna do good. Ya está bien, dice, vas a estar bien, así. So she the next day she went dressed up like a surgeon, right? And she got her surgical instruments and examination instruments and everything she was able to get. And everybody just looked at her strange because nobody was like that, right? Everybody just had probably white pants and white blouse and one Filipina, or just one little short coat, right? And everybody was expecting somebody to bring gloves, and everybody was expecting to bring some tools to work with, right? And eventually, la muchacha se fue preparada, vestida de cirujano ese día, y se fue con su maletín lleno de instrumentos quirúrgicos y se fue con todos sus instrumentos de examinación, y estaba ella con su maletín toda llena de instrumentos y todo su uniforme, ¿verdad? Y todo el mundo se quedó mirándola, ¿verdad? Porque se venía vestida la muchacha así. Dice, well, I want to become a surgeon. Le dijo, oh sí, me quiero convertir en un cirujano. Y el doctor que estaba presente, the doctor who was present, said, surely that nobody's going to graduate first than you from all these generations. Y le dijo, nadie nunca se va a graduar primero que tú de toda esta generación. Así es como deben venir los estudiantes. That's the way the students had to show up, right? And so eventually this lady, she had a hard time with one of the instructors. Ella tuvo también un mal rato con uno de los instructores because he refused to write her name. Él no quiso escribir su nombre. into his list, en su lista, right? And every time that he was passing roll, y todo el tiempo que él pasaba lista, he didn't call her name. Él no nombró su nombre. And then she asked the gentleman, why didn't you continue writing my name in your list? Because you are not officially registered in our school. Y dijo, no te pongo porque tú oficialmente no estás registrada en mi escuela. And you have to go and next time, before you raise your hand, please go to the direction of the school so you can talk to the principal to find out what's going on, right? And she went to the direction, right? She went to the office. Entonces le dijo el profesor que ya no le levantara la mano para pedirle que anote su nombre porque ella no estaba oficialmente registrada en la clase, y que la próxima vez se fuera a preguntarle a la dirección qué era lo que estaba pasando, que él ya no quería saber, ¿verdad? Entonces she went to find out, right, just before the testing for the next semester admissions came in for next year, because the secretary has said that her record was not in the faculty. Su récord nunca llegó a la facultad, and she was not officially registered, regardless of everything that it has said, whatever have done, took part, right? Y dijo que su récord no estaba puesto oficialmente, que independientemente de todos los trámites que se habían hecho, ella todavía no estaba admitida en la escuela y que ella no sabía qué era lo que pasaba. And then eventually the girl went to take all the applications to have the test again, right? La muchacha fue y tomó otra vez el examen de admisión, and she made it through. And her name came out in the list from the local newspaper, y tomó el examen y salió su nombre en la lista oficial de ese periódico de la ciudad. And the same doctor who saw her in his class said, you don't have to come over to my class because you already passed your class, you have an 8.5, right? And she was saying that she was missing her points from her teamwork, right? Because she had to be in a team. And he said, no, it is 5 points all the work that we do in the lab, and it's 5 points the lecture, right? And since you came in a little bit late, regardless of everything, you still have your points. And therefore, she said, well, I will have to take the class again because something wrong is happening right in this school, because there was no people working in the office because it was change of all the people working for the chain of command of all the faculty of medical school, and they had a hard time choosing another faculty director and the team of workers, because not everybody had degrees required to fill in the places. Dijo la niña que ella tenía muchos problemas para que le hicieran caso, porque la persona que estaba, el director, estaba siendo escogido, y el que estaba ya se había ido, y que tenía muchos problemas porque los que estaban compitiendo para directores no tenían las calificaciones que se requerían y no estaban llenándose los lugares para poder atender a la gente. And therefore that all her record was missing, and she rather start from the clean and from the scratch, y que ella prefería comenzar desde el principio instead of going over and trying to fill things up because something was not clear. Y dice que ella no quería estar rellenando más espacios, ¿verdad?, si no estaban claros, porque ella no quería estar haciendo historias que no se pueden llenar. And therefore, let us just go from there and we'll see. and she was very successful. She came back again, dressed up like a surgeon, and the same thing happened with the rest of the people. Y nuevamente ella tuvo que volver a hacer su trabajo, ¿verdad? En la escuela, y nuevamente llegó así como ella quería ser, ¿verdad? Una estudiante de medicina. Y fueron los mismos, se le quedaron mirando y fueron las mismas cosas, ¿verdad? Y lo mismo dijo que esta muchacha nunca, nadie de todas estas generaciones se va a graduar primero, porque así es como deberían de venir todos los estudiantes que se quieren convertir en médicos, ¿verdad? Y ella se ganó el respeto, ¿verdad?, de esos dos doctores de tiempo completo, and she was able to win the respect from these two only doctors full-time in that school, the first full-time for the first 2 years, and the second doctor, it was from the 2 last years, right? And these people really admire the student, right? Estos dos doctores admiraron a esta muchacha because instead of going to the police to make complaints about all the stuff that it was happening, she understood that there is no credentials for people to touch documents, right? Que cuando no hay credenciales por parte de las facultades de profesores para poner mano en records que ellos no conocen, there is really nothing else to do. Realmente no hay más que hacer. When there is not enough people for a college, cuando no hay suficiente gente para trabajar en un colegio with the right credentials, con las credenciales requeridas, and degrees, and specialties, con los niveles de educación requeridos, con las especialidades que son requeridas, nobody has the right to touch anything. Nadie tiene derecho de tocar nada. Whether if it's a lie that those faculties exist, ya sea que sea mentira que esas escuelas existen, because nothing can be done on time, porque las cosas no pueden ser hechas a tiempo, right? Or because the good faith o la buena fe from some instructors, de algunos instructores, it put to a test, es puesta para avergonzarlos, because they're defending people, porque ellos andan defendiendo people that probably they don't even know, que probablemente no conocen, right? When they get fed up, cuando ellos se cansan, and a doctor can get very old and very tired. Y un doctor puede llegar a cansarse de tan viejos y tan gastados from everything, de tanto, that eventually they just don't do anything, que eventualmente ellos ya no hacen nada. And so this girl actually, it was defended by these two doctors, y esa muchachita era defendida por esos dos doctores, like if it was a part of their family, como si fuera parte de su familia. But it was just a girl, pero era solo la muchacha, that she was defending herself with her mind, que estaba ella defendiéndose con su mente, that she was able to make things, que ella podía hacer las cosas, and that she could make it again and make it again, because she was able to present the work, porque ella era capaz de presentar el trabajo once and twice and how many times were needed, que era no solamente una sola vez, cuantas veces fueran necesarias, el trabajo se podía presentar, to prove that she was able to make it, que era capaz de probar que era capaz de tener su trabajo hecho, ¿verdad? And eventually the girl ended up going to different schools, right? In order to learn some other specialties and to have some other trainings, right? Because the lack of faculty, por la calidad de los instructores, that they didn't have the degrees, no tenían los niveles, right? Los títulos profesionales to demand, para poder demandar the attention required, la atención requerida those spaces were empty. They sometimes made like around 10,000 fossils. Esas escuelas tenían hasta 10,000 fósiles. And really, the secretary cannot copy in the records of anybody 10,000 times everybody's 3 times a year, 245 units from their countries, like if it was Mexico, 245 pesos, if it was the United States, $245 per extraordinary test, which means that the students are retained in order of exploitation and a way to exploit the poor community, which do not have a tutor who can come over and demand respect and a place and the points, because they're gonna sue the institution because they are lack of interest to really incorporate the student to the next level. Because the medical school are really like this girl, right? The story, this lady eventually end up saying that just like the boy who was under training by his dad, right? That he learned his medical classes by taking the vital signs, by drawing the blood, by making this lab work and make the colonies and the cultives with the agars and all types of agars and food to develop the bacteria which is causing disease, and then go to the pharmacy to see and checking up with some other medications, some other doctors have already treated the patients, they can be able to control the microbes in their bodies, right? Él decía, ¿verdad? Como este otro muchacho que él había aprendido la medicina en el consultorio de su papá, y sus primeras clases fueron atendiendo directamente al paciente, ¿verdad? Y en base a eso, tomarle sus signos vitales, hacerle su examinación, sus trabajos de laboratorio, para hacerle sus cultivos y aplicarle la farmacia, ya sea de la medicina que traían ellos, ya que habían sido recetadas por otros médicos, ¿verdad? Y para controlarles con algunos nuevos medicamentos el problema que traían, ¿verdad? Y encontrarles síndromes, right? And also to find syndromes, because he was saying, right, just like this girl, that you don't earn anything by taking the faculties into the prison or to the jail because they're not copying the right grades into your records, and they really messed up your life forever, right? Because when they have 10,000 fossils, because there is nobody, right, who can go and copy all the records, because they don't have no credentials to have access to the records in order to copy their final grade, right? Which means that all these grades come out from a list where somebody who has the credentials to respect all the private information have to download all this information into each one of the students, right? And when the doctors work only for an hour, right, which is mostly everybody's, right, they claim that the minimum payment or the minimum salary is like probably $20 per tutorial, per lecture, probably $28, right, per 15 minutes. So they're not going to stay in the school all day copying 10,000 grades, right? Because in one day you had 40 students, right, to teach, and after 20 days you end up having 5,000, right? And from where are you going to copy 5,000 grades, right? Obviously it cannot be. And so nobody really cares for anybody in the professional level. and it's something disgraceful. And what happened is that people better just register their own medical school, right, and invite the community who wants to join them in order to learn the medicine so they can really help the community. To nurture the community's curiosity and to teach prevention, because we are in a deep hole and disgrace that we have pandemic situation in where no many doctors build anybody in this world, and all the professional schools from all over the world are guilty of what is happening nowadays in this world, because most of the schools are claiming to have registered the best human minds, and at the same time they waste those best human minds by teasing, by exploding, right, the finances, when the community really needs to have professionals who can train them how to do the things a human being have to do, right? A lot of people say, no, we believe that's just the family, right? Estamos diciendo que el problema que existe, ¿verdad?, en las facultades como estas, ¿verdad?, donde se ponen a hacer fósiles, ¿verdad? Ya no hay tiempo, ¿verdad? Un día los profesores de 1 hora tenían 40 estudiantes para trabajar con ellos, y después de 2 meses fueron 5,000 estudiantes que estaban de fósiles y todos pasaron la clase, y ahora tenía que poner la calificación de 5,000 estudiantes y pues no le pagan $28 le daban por una clase 3 veces a la semana. Entonces o daba la clase o se ponía a hacer los grados, ¿verdad?, anotar los grados de la gente, y que por esa razón las escuelas profesionales no están buenas, porque no están haciendo las cosas para al provecho del estudiante y lo están engañando, ¿verdad? No hay quien le importe la educación superior, y por eso estamos metidos en esta pandemia, y la culpa la tienen las universidades, porque en vez de producir cirujanos, ¿verdad?, están produciendo puro desperdicio de gebarrenderos, como decía el muchacho que había sido entrenado por su papá, ¿verdad?, que tiene que ser tu papá el que vaya a ponerte los grados, ¿verdad?, de tus calificaciones, porque no hay ni quien haga el trabajo. Really, es shameful, right? Que sería mejor y preferible que la gente se pusiera a registrar su propia universidad y graduarse de su escuela médica de su familia, ¿verdad?, hacer un family university e invitar a la comunidad que quiera unirse a ellos. Because what is going on in this world is shameful. Pandemic conditions es lo peor que le pudo haber sucedido a la humanidad, ¿verdad? Porque la prevention is the most important thing that should be. La prevención es la cosa más importante that we all have to learn, right, from everything. Prevention is the most important thing that we ought to learn. Y la prevención son las cosas más importantes que nosotros debemos de ver. And this girl, she really had a hard time, right, with her medical school. Y esta muchachita realmente tuvo mucho dolor de cabeza, ¿verdad?, con su escuela, because she had to face also that some of the people in the administration, que esta muchacha la querían meter de fósil también, ¿verdad? She was making the list from the first record, because she had a skimpy record of 3 disciplines, right? When she was reaching up the fifth semester, cuando ella estaba alcanzando el 5º semestre, this gentleman pulled the records when she was standby. Le había dicho que ella era oyente, ¿verdad?, durante ese tiempo, pero que sí había sido admitida, pero que debía unas clases y que tenía que ir a presentarlas en extraordinario. And the gentleman was already writing her name, telling her that she had to go and present all this stuff because she failed everything, and she had to go and pay 245 three times, and so it was a lot of money that they were making, right? Era mucho dinero el que estaban haciendo ellos, ¿verdad? And it was really, they didn't really have control, y no tenían ellos control. They were waiting for all the people. Ellos esperaban for the people to complain about. Nomás los que se quejaban eran los que ellos atendían. That's the wrong thing. People, all the schools have the responsibility to really record the grades appropriately, right? Todas las escuelas tienen la obligación de hacer sus exámenes, because one of the biggest problems that there is, uno de los grandes problemas que existe, ¿verdad? Like this girl was saying, that when the person forms part of a team, cuando la persona forma parte de un equipo en el classroom, en un salón de clase, and when they stop from coming to the class, cuando las personas dejan de venir, whether because they are married and they have to work, ya sea que porque están casados y se van a trabajar, and probably they go to the lecture, y probablemente nomás asisten a la lectura, but they forget to come to the lab, right? Y se les olvida venir al laboratorio, or they believe that just because are part of the team that their work is going to be recognized, right? Y ellos probablemente piensan que porque son miembros de algún equipo, el trabajo que hagan los demás probably can be counted towards the record for him, y que probablemente pueda contar para el récord de él. And a lot of the students have the bad habit to confiscate the members of a teamwork, right, to prove that they were part of those teams, and eventually have tied up records from different kinds of students because they were teamwork with him or her, and your records eventually gets confiscated and included as part of somebody else's record, right? And your record end up lost, right? Y tu récord muchas de las veces termina perdido porque forma parte de otros récords cuando se hace el trabajo en equipo, right? And all these things are mistakes where the faculties, donde las facultades do not have the power to go and search into all the records, right? Donde todas estas cosas se encuentran entremetidas en récords de otras gentes, y tus récords se pierden y ya después no los encuentran porque forman parte de récords de otras personas, ¿verdad? When the time comes, cuando el tiempo viene that you're looking for your records, que tú andas buscando por tus récords, they only say, we never knew this person. La gente sale con el cuento de que nosotros nunca hemos sabido de esa persona, right? And it happens, you know, that when this girl was one day looking to move on with a specialty, right? She was trying to learn the specialty, and she went to get all these copies from the same faculty, and she ended up listening all the stuff. The lady record keeper was saying that we have never seen this person in this faculty, right? After all the hardship and all the hate she had, I mean, she was already known by 2 or 3 very important people from the school. And so she eventually went to talk to one of them, right? And he moved the sky and the seas and the stars and everything able, because how in the heaven all these things are going to keep on happening to this girl, right? Y la cosa es que las cosas pasan porque one person doesn't have the power to go through everything. Y estas cosas pasan porque una persona no tiene permiso para entrar into everybody's record, en los récords de la gente, right? And you have to be patient y tienes que tener paciencia y you have to rebuild everything. Y se tiene que reconstruir todo because it has to be a step somewhere. Porque tiene que haber alguna etapa that will mark forever, que va a marcar que para siempre you're not going to be forgotten, que tú no vas a ser olvidada. That whether your records are found or no, que aunque tus récords puedan ser encontrados o no, you somewhere around, somewhere, algún lado, en algún lugar, everything that belongs to you, las cosas que le pertenecen a usted, they have to be found, tienen que ser encontradas, right? And this is one of the things that one of the instructors of this lady was saying. Y esta era una de las cosas que decía uno de los instructores de esta mujer, de esta muchacha, que she had already gone through, because the problem, number one, it was that there is no enough personnel to work, que no hay suficiente personal para trabajar de high level education, en los niveles superiores de educación. That there is no money or funds, que no hay dinero, no hay fondos monetarios to pay to have this work done, ni para quién haya, no hay dinero para que se hagan las cosas, ni quién vaya a poner nada para que se hagan. That there is no credentialing, no hay gentes con los títulos profesionales requeridos, right? They're just students, right? Son solamente estudiantes, the same training, the surgeons. Son los mismos estudiantes los que entrenan a los cirujanos, ¿verdad? And that really people don't have, y la gente didn't have professional secretaries. Las gente no tenían secretarias profesionales who were able to type, que eran capaces de escribir a máquina. They didn't have, they were not fast typers, no eran rápidos escribiendo a máquina. The people who work in those areas were very slow, they work very slow with the keyboards. La gente no sabía escribir a máquina, eran muy lentos, and really they had one secretary. Y ahí tenían una secretaria, pero she was all the time behind writing letters. Era una secretaria que siempre estaba contestando las cartas que llegaban todos los días, and it was the school. Y era la escuela, the one who promote, que estaba promoviendo scholarships from other universities, que promovía como becas de otras escuelas o en organizaciones, in order to have funds, para tener dinero to work, para trabajar in that place, en ese lugar. Los horarios, the schedules were not appropriate, no estaban apropiados, right? They were not using the school, no estaba usando la escuela. Really, there was just few people, había muy poquita gente, right? The winters were nobody, en los inviernos no había nadie. And that it was just wasting efforts, y que eran nomás unos esfuerzos desperdiciados, looking for just to have a few families, donde se veía que había nomás unas familias with their children, con sus niños, growing and keeping eye and opening the school, y nomás mirando y abriendo and closing the school y cerrando la escuela, right? When those big, huge institutions, cuando estas escuelas, grandes construcciones, which were investment from countries, que son inversiones de los países, are ready to have even international students, que están listas para tener hasta estudiantes internacionales. But if they don't see, pero si no ven, right, what to do, qué hacer with what they have, ¿verdad? How can they bring money to their countries, ¿verdad? Si no ven que ahí tienen la posibilidad, ¿cómo van a traer dinero a sus países? Right? But anyways, eventually this girl did something really good. Eventualmente esta muchacha hizo algo muy bueno, right? that will forever, que para siempre, all her work is going to be remembered, que su trabajo para siempre va a ser recordado, and she will never going to be left behind, y que nunca va a ser dejada atrás, ¿verdad? Pero pues vamos a desearles, ¿verdad? Let us just wish you the best for this year that is few minutes, right? And we have the grapes, right? Nosotros tenemos unas grapes aquí. There are huge grapes, están muy grandes. Son huge grapes. They are huge grapes. But I don't feel like eating right now. So I have more than 12, right? Some people say that it's just 12, right? 12 grapes, the ones that have to be eaten. But we don't have only 12 purposes to fill up this year. We have thousands, right? We're never going to stop from dreaming. We're never going to stop from wishing. We're never going to be from wanting to be better day by day and to wish you the best, right? Pero nunca, nosotros no vamos a comernos las uvas, ¿verdad? Porque no solamente tenemos 12 uvas que comer, nuestros propósitos no son 12, son miles, ¿verdad? Miles para mejorar y progresar todos los días, right? Y para tener lo mejor de lo mejor que haya, porque somos seres humanos. We are human beings. We wish the best. We would like to have the best, right? Why not? ¿Por qué no? Right? And therefore, just like this year, that we have all these millions of people worldwide, y como hemos tenido tantos millones de gente alrededor del mundo, nosotros queremos desearle lo mejor, que se acabe esta pandemia, que se produzcan muchos médicos. Let us just wish you to produce doctors, all of them, right? Not be a barrier, ¿verdad? Para que no sean barreras. Porque really all the natural sciences and biology I already learned, right? Realmente las ciencias naturales y la biología ya están estudiadas. While a lot of people, a lot of students take this very seriously since elementary school. And by when they reach the high school, they already know all the names and all the systems and all their functions, right? All the microbiologies, embryologies, all the histology, everything is already known, right? And there are some other ones, everything related with the blood, everything related with the hormones, everything. And if you take a look at it seriously, but when you are almost at your 5th semester, all this stuff is already covered by all the way from the beginning, all the way from to the high school. You already have like 70%, and you have another 25% when you reach your when you reach out for your professional. The 25% is there because eventually what you learn is behind the shoulders of a surgeon, right? The research is apart, the lab is something apart, right? And a lot of people say the amphitheater, right, is something we have to do with the dead bodies, right? Which is something very different that when you go and have the experiences and the texture and feel the scalpel, right? Touching the skin from a live body is a little bit different, right? Because it's a totally new atmosphere, environment. Abrir un cuerpo de un cadáver nunca va a ser igual que una persona viva. The precaution that you have to take in order to preserve the arteries, veins, nerves, which are crossing all the areas where you are introducing the scalpel. Vean todas las venas, las arterias, los nervios que tú vas a encontrar cuando vas a abrir un área. You have to be sure and you have to be careful just to pull them on the side, right? In order to help the body to heal. right? Because the blood is what is going to take the nutrients, what is going to bring the clothing agents, right? La sangre, los vasitos de las arterias y las venas, ¿verdad? Son las que van a ayudar a llevar las cosas necesarias para que la gente se pueda sentir bien. And therefore, if we are careful preventing the damage from all these areas, right, by having the touch that is required for that kind of surgery, obviously it's going to be very successful. Cuando la gente tiene, ¿verdad?, el toque apropiado para llegar a la sutura, para llegar a la cirugía requerida, ¿verdad? Es como se puede tener un éxito, ¿verdad?, en las operaciones. Entonces, vamos a desear que todos, ¿verdad?, las gentes que puedan comprar, abrir una escuela de médicos, ¿verdad?, privada, ¿verdad?, se lo debe a su familia, a sus hijos, a sus hermanos, a sus parientes, el tener una escuela dándole honor a los suyos, donde ellos puedan despacito ir entrenándose y le ayuden en su clínica, en su hospital, ¿verdad? Teniendo su ambulancia, transformando sus vans, sus trocas en ambulancias que pueden ayudar a la gente, que puedan transportar las personas y rentarlas, ¿verdad? También rentar sillas de ruedas, reparar sillas de ruedas, el aparato prostético, las ropas prostéticas que la gente necesita para vivir, ¿verdad? Las cosas para dormir que son necesarias, ¿verdad?, para la gente, todas esas cosas, mucho campo de la medicina, cómo mantener a sus pacientes saludables del peso requerido, de las cosas que deben de tener sus pacientes para siempre tenerlos en prevención constante, ¿verdad? We were saying that you ought your family to have a school where you can train your loved ones, right? And where you can have your patients, right? Also, with the right ideal weight and the exercises, sports, the prostheses, renting wheelchairs, repairing wheelchairs, trucks, transforming trucks to transport ill people or handicapped people to different places, right? And all this stuff is something resourceful, that when the person has the knowledge to help the ones who cannot help themselves, people can become rich and millionaire, right? Ayudando a las gentes que no se pueden asistir, mientras la gente se puede convertir en personas de mucho dinero y millonarias, ¿verdad? Entonces, let us just put everything, all the projects that we have in the hands of the Lord for the next year, right? And we wish you the best. Nosotros le deseamos lo mejor, right? And don't stop from fighting for your dreams. Nunca, no dejes de luchar por tus sueños. Prepare yourself, it doesn't matter how old you are. Prepárate, no importa qué tantos años tenga, because to nurture the community's curiosity is the best prevention that there is. Porque educándose la gente aprende prevención y se cuida su salud, se cuida de muchas cosas, ¿verdad? From many things. And this is the nice thing that we can learn together. Es lo bueno que podemos aprender by learning, reciting the books as you see your atlas, right? Because there's so many atlases, anatomy atlas, physiology atlas, and a lot of atlases, right? And everything is very fun, right? And therefore we are going to leave you, right? But you can try, why not, right? What can you lose? ¿Qué puede perder if you're just learning something good? Si usted está aprendiendo algo bueno, right? Let us just dismiss right here and let us receive this new year, right, with a lot of love, right? Like I was telling one of the gentlemen who sometimes comes over, right? People do not do not have to feel like tired, right? People have to wake every single day with a happiness to sip pop the coffee in the morning, right? Que la gente tiene que tener la felicidad como de sentir el sabor de tomar café, ¿verdad? De levantarse con un aroma fresco, rico, right? To wake up and wake up with this fresh and rich, right? With a coffee, probably a little omelette, right? Tal vez con un desayuno, ¿verdad? Something like that. Just probably fruits, whatever. And probably with the frutas, lo que sea. But be happy. And make yourself, get yourself into the frame of mind. Métase en un marco de la mente where you are good looking. De que usted se mira bien guapo, bien guapa. And there's nobody like you. Que no va a haber nadie como usted ever, nunca. And that you're very unique. And that usted es una único in this world, en este mundo, ¿verdad? Pero just dismiss right here and just we're gonna keep on talking, right, as we continue with the disciplines of tutorials that we are having, right? And for now, let us just say that Happy New Year, right? Vamos a decir que feliz año nuevo, right? Y no nos cansemos de asistir a todas las personas que realmente ya no tienen fuerza, ¿verdad? Hay muchas personas que por el COVID, ¿verdad? Ya probablemente no están con nosotros. Probably the COVID had taken a lot of people that are no longer with us, right? And that the Lord rest them in peace. El Señor los descanse en paz, ¿verdad? And we don't have nothing else but just be grateful for their company as they were with us. Y no tenemos nada que decir más que le agradecemos la compañía de ellos, ¿verdad? Durante el tiempo que estuvieron vivos, right? And Happy New Year, right? Feliz Año Nuevo. And we wish you the best. Les deseamos lo mejor. Hasta luego.